Hey YouTube, welcome back to Top Tier TCG, and in this video we're going to talk about the 2024 Charizard EX Battle League deck. So, Christmas just came, and I'm assuming a lot of people got this set up under the Christmas tree. I definitely did, and I really enjoy this deck, and I wanted to make a video for people who are just barely getting into the TCG, or kind of know about Pokemon but don't really know how to use a more advanced deck. So, I decided to get it on the shop. I didn't open mine, but it is available on PTCG Live, and if you have the deck physically, it should come with a code card to also get this deck. So we're going to run through the Pokemon that are in it, the trainer cards, and the mechanics of the deck, and show you how to play it properly. And we're going to do a couple matches on the TCG Live to show you where you can kind of get ahead when playing this deck. So this deck recently won a regional or two, and it's not the complete deck like that. I will put the winning deck list for Charizard EX in the description, but this is definitely a great way to get started into the Pokemon competitive scene. This has a lot of longevity. A lot of the cards in here are going to stay through rotation, and it's really easy to upgrade once you have this whole setup. There's only a few cards you can add to it and take away the useless ones to make it perfect. But if you're just playing with friends or doing casual events, this is a really good deck to get started with. So without any hesitation, we're just going to move on up and talk about all the Pokemon that are in here. So let's get started. So this deck gives you 3 Charizard EX, 2 Pidgeot EX, 3 Pidgey, 2 Pidgeotto, 3 Moltres, 4 Charmander, and 3 Charmeleon. And we're going to start off with Charmander here. He has 70 HP, he has 2 attacks here, and they kind of don't do much. You're not even going to need to worry because he's not your main attacker, but he's the card you're going to want to try to get out first. The secondary one's going to be Pidgey. But we're going to talk about his evolution line, Charmeleon, who has the ability Flare Veil. Prevent all effects of attacks to use on your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. Damage is not an effect. So cards that do damage counters wouldn't be able to affect this Charmeleon if it's on your bench, which is really nice because that means he can stay protected and he won't get knocked out early game. But then he evolves into the big man himself, Charizard EX, who has the ability Infernal Rain. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 3 Fire Energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Then shuffle your deck. So this means that when you evolve, you can look your deck for some energies and attach them to that Charizard EX and use his attack right away. You don't even need to have energy attached to him to begin with, which is really nice. Plus, he has 330 HP, which makes him a really hefty guy, which is why it's a really good card to have. You can attack quick, you have a lot of HP to begin with, and the cool thing about Burning Darkness, it does 180, and for every prize card that your opponent's already taken, you do 30 more damage. So it kind of punishes your opponent for getting ahead of the game, and there's cards in here that kind of help it even more in that aspect. The next piece is the Pidgey line, which is super helpful. You get 3 Pidgeys, 50 HP, little baby Pokemon. The only notable thing about it is the Call for Family attack. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. So you can search for the other Pidgey or the Charmander and just get the engine rolling sooner. And then we have his evolution, Pidgeotto. Not much to see here. He's just the middle line. The only good thing about him is that he has 0 retreat cost, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you can evolve him into Pidgeot EX, which has the ability Quick Search. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. You can't use more than 1 Quick Search ability each turn. And this is a really awesome ability because it lets you get like the trainer cards you need or the Pokemon cards you need or even an energy if you really need it. You might not, but this lets you do it without sacrificing any resources. The only thing here is you can only use 1 per turn. So if you have 2 Pidgeot EXs, they won't be able to use both of those abilities in that turn. He does have the attack plus 3 wind, which is 120, and discard a stadium of play, but you most likely will not be using it. The Charizard's the one you want to focus with. And then they also added Moltres here, which I don't think does too much to the deck, but it just gives you an idea of having like supporter cards. This Pokemon has a Fire Energy attached. It has no retreat cost, which is really nice. The other thing is Blazing Flight. Discard 2 Fire Energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So kind of hard to get all those energies on him. If you do get them on him, then yeah, you can use this attack, but I don't really recommend it. But his ability is nice that if you do have a Fire Energy, he has no retreat cost. So maybe you can use this Pokemon to stall your opponent a bit and then go out and do your thing. But that's all the Pokemon on here. So now we're going to move on to the trainers. So it comes with 2 Arven, 1 Defiance Band, 2 Professor's Research, 4 Rare Candy, 1 Switch, 4 Ultra Ball, 2 Artizones, 2 Boss's Orders, 4 Iono, 1 Super Rod, 2 Technical Machine Evolutions, 4 Buddy-Buddy Poffins, and 1 Prime Catcher. So if you have this deck physically, this is a really good setup of trainers to give you. You can slowly upgrade this deck over time, but if you're just pulling this out of the box, sleeping it up, and wanting to play, this deck will do just fine. We're going to start off with Arven over here, and then it comes with 2. And you're going to search your deck for an item card and a Pokemon tool card, reveal them, and put them in your hand. So that lets you get the Evolution, the Buddy-Buddy Poffin, the Defiance Band. That's really good if you're going second and you pull this card. You can use the Buddy-Buddy Poffin to get 2 baby Pokemon out, maybe your Charmander and your Pidgey, and whoever's in your active, you can get the Pokemon tool card for the Evolution TM, which I'll talk about in a second, and you can evolve those Pokemon. Next is the Defiance Band. If you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, the attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So, like I said earlier, this deck kind of punishes your opponent for getting ahead. Let's say they knocked out a Pokemon before you could get your Charizard out. Now you're doing 30 extra damage with its attack, and then this Defiance Band adds even more to that. So this is a really good one to get out. And then we have Professor's Research. Discard your hand and draw 7 cards. For those who are beginners, this kind of card is a staple in a lot of decks. This card is usually used to kind of help you get a better hand. Let's say you have a really bad combination of cards that are really useless, and you have this card. This is a perfect way to clean that up and start fresh. Or if you're really lucky, it's like the last card in your hand. Just use it, get rid of it, and whole new hand against your opponent. Really useful card. And then we have Rare Candy. Choose one of your basic Pokemon in play. If you have a Stage 2 card in your hand that evolves from that Pokemon, put that card into your basic Pokemon and evolve it, skipping the Stage 1. You can't use this card during your first turn, or a basic Pokemon that was put to play in this turn. So this basically means that if you have a Charmander in the field, then you have Charizard EX in your hand, you can use this card to skip the Charmeleon. Or with Pidgey and Pidgeot or Pidgeot EX, you can also do the same thing. Can't use it on your first turn, but if you get on your second or third turn and do it, it'll be a prime time thing to use. Very useful, and I think that's why they put 4 in it, to get it as soon as possible. And then we have 1 Switch. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. This is also a staple in the Pokemon world. Kind of self-explanatory. Get one of those Pokemon you want out instead of that one up front. But the Pidgeot has no retreat cost, and if you have a Fire Energy on the Moltres, you also don't really need to worry about it. So maybe this is one of the cards you just use in emergencies. And then we have Ultra Ball. I believe there's 4 in here. You can use this card only if you discard 2 other cards from your hand. Search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So this is also a staple in the Pokemon world that's going to stay in rotation. You can kind of get rid of 2 useless cards and get that card you need, maybe that Charizard or the Pidgeot, or maybe just the evolution line you need at the time, or you want to put another Pokemon on the bench. This is a really good way to do that. They have 4 of them, kind of get you them as quick as possible. And then you have Artizone, one of the stadiums here. Once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a basic Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box and put it onto your bench. Then that player shuffles your deck. So this card works for both you and your opponent. All stadiums do, essentially. And it lets you grab a basic Pokemon with no rule box. You can get that Pidgey out or that Charmander out. And you can do that without using resources in your hand, which is really nice. Again, the deck's just kind of built to get all these Pokemon out as fast as possible so you can evolve them sooner. And then you have Boss's Orders, which was 2 of them. Switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. So this card's a really good supporter, and it's also a staple in a lot of decks to get the Pokemon you want out of their bench and into the active so you can knock them out, hopefully. Or if they have a Pokemon that has no energy and they can't really attack with 1, it's a good way to get those out to buy you time for your next turn. And I'll show you in the matches that we play on how to use it properly. And then we have Iono. They gave you 4, which is kind of a lot, but it kind of gets you used to the mechanism of the deck. Each player shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of their deck. If either player puts any cards on the bottom of their deck in this way, each player draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. So you kind of use this to kind of disrupt your opponent. Let's say they have 3 prize cards left. You use this, they throw their whole hand in there and only draw 3 cards while you draw how many prize cards you have. This is really good beginning of the game, middle of the game, end of the game. Kind of sucks for you towards the end of the game because if you have like 1 prize card left, you're only getting 1 card back. So I wouldn't recommend this using if you're ahead, but you kind of want to use it if you think your opponent has a good hand. And they gave you 4 of those. And then we have Super Rod. Shuffle up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile onto your deck. Let's say your Charizard gets knocked out and the energies get knocked out. This is a good way just to put him back in. Use your Pidgeot to bring him back out. All that good stuff. And they only gave you 1 of those. That's all you really need. And then there's the Pokemon Tool card, Technical Machine Evolution. The Pokemon this card is attached can use this attack on this card. You still need a necessary energy to use this attack. If the card is attached to one of your Pokemon, discard at the end of your turn. Evolution. Choose up to 2 bench Pokemon. For each of those Pokemon, search your deck for a card that evolves from that Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon to evolve it. Then shuffle your deck. So you can use this to evolve your Pidgey and your Charmander, or your Charmeleon and your Pidgeotto into the evolution you need. This is really good at the beginning of the game. If you get able to attack first and have this card, that's where Arven kind of comes in, and get those Pokemon evolved as soon as possible so you can use their abilities and their attacks. And then we have Buddy-Buddy Poffin. Set your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less and put them onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. So you kind of want to grab whatever Pokemon you need, the Charmander or the Pidgey in the beginning of the game, get those out there and just start flooding your board with the Pokemon you need. When we play against other people, I'll kind of show you the mechanic and the best way to use it. This again is really paired good with Arven and to get Buddy-Buddy Poffin and that tool card out. And then finally you have Prime Catcher. Switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. If you do, switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. This is a good way to snipe one of their Pokemon that they have on their bench and like move your Charizard up. If you can't, not going to run into that issue a lot, but if you do, this is a good way to get your Pokemon out there while getting one of their Pokemon that they really need knocked out. And that's it for the trainers. And then at the end, the energy is about 10 of them. So with that, that's this deck. It's really fun to play. Again, this is a deck that'll last you a long time if you got it physically. And you can make upgrades to it. On the description, again, I'll put it down below so you can see some of the winning decks of Charizard EX and how people build it. They do take away things. They kind of take out Prime Catcher and put Unfair Stamp, or they put Dusknoir with it, and they have some other variations. But overall, it's about the same style of deck here. They do get rid of the Moltres. Nobody uses that. And they have like 2 other V Pokemon in there. So I've explained this to you. And now we're going to do a match or 2, depending how fast they go. And we're going to go to home. And we're not going to play in the ranked because while it is a good deck, it's definitely not ready to play like top tier decks right now unless you know how to upgrade it, which maybe I'll make a video on that, or there's plenty of other videos on YouTube. So we're just going to show you on casual the gameplay for it. So let's jump right in here. Bum, bum, bum. And thank you for all who've been watching my other videos. We're at 26 subs. That's great. All right, first person, Mighty Bandit 9. Let's see what he has here. And I generally like to call heads, or not heads. I like to go first when I play with a Charizard deck, or any evolution line deck. You kind of want to go first. That way you can evolve them by turn 2. Oh, yep. That's us. We're going to go first. And I'm just going to try to show you how I think is the best way to play this deck. And we already start off with cards we don't really want. We don't want that Moltres, but we're going to have to deal with it. So here's what we're going to do. Moltres, done. Well, at least they're grass type. They might be playing a... Oh, we are first on. So we're going to do Artisan. Boom. We're going to grab a... What should we grab here? Well, what you want to do is look at all your cards to see what you got, see if anything got prized. It looks like one of our Charizards prized and one of our Pidgeot EXs are prized. Other than that, everything else looks good. I'm going to go to the valid ones. I think we're going to go with Charmander because we want to get him out as soon as possible. Though he does have a weakness to Teal Mask Ogerpon when he evolves into Charizard. So just remember that. And that's all we can really do right now. We're going to end our turn. I don't know if they're playing like a really top tier deck, and they either might be playing Raging Bolt or they might be playing Regidrago V-Star, which is also a really high end deck. But we'll see what they do with their decisions here. He grabs a Grass Energy, attaches it, uses his Teal Dance ability to draw a card. Professor's Research. Yep, this is a Regidrago deck. He probably didn't have the cards he needs. There's a Regidrago V. So I don't know how well we're going to do against this deck. If they're playing casual, but this is a pretty advanced deck that's won a lot of competitions. So we don't know how good we're actually going to do. But I'll still try to show you the mechanics the best way possible. He wasn't able to attach an energy, which is okay. But we could do here. We're going to do Artizone. Bum, bum. We're going to get that Pidgey out. And normally you would use the Arven. And we could get out the Buddy-Buddy, or we can get the Technical Machine out. And we can get an Ultra Ball. Or we can get a Rare Candy and an Ultra Ball. I think that's what we'll do. Rare Candy, Ultra Ball. Use this here. Rare Candy and an Ultra Ball. Oh no, we can't because we need a tool card. So I think what we're going to do is just Ultra Ball then. Put this back. We can do Ultra Ball and Technical Machine. And we are going to attach this here. And we're going to Ultra Ball that Pidgeot out of here. And a Fire Energy. And we're going to grab that Pidgeot out. And we're going to use the Evolution attack. Yes. Choose him and him. So we have the Charmeleon. What do you mean? That doesn't make sense. Well, we can do the Charmeleon, but we didn't have the Pidgeot. Oh no! The other one's prized. I didn't pay attention to that. That's my fault. That is completely my fault. Already did a misplay. I'm very sorry, guys. But generally, there's two Pidgeotos. I didn't check. He's going to attach that to him. And he already evolved into Regidrago V-Star. So this doesn't look good for us, guys. We'll see what happens here. Uses an Ultra Ball. Gets rid of those two. I assume he's going to go for another Teal... Oh, another Regidrago V. So if he knocks us out, we can try to get the Regidrago V out. We might be able to knock him out if we get that Charizard. Unless we pull Rare Candy with the Pidgeot right now. I think that's the only other thing that can help us here. But we'll see. He gets an energy attached with a Crispin, which is also a really good card. Legacy V-Star throws all those things away. He's going to take out the Teal Mask Ogerpon and the other Regidrago V-Star, I feel like. We'll see here. Oh, maybe not. Energy switch to get that onto his Regidrago V-Star so he can attack. He's going to withdraw his Teal Mask Ogerpon here. And then he's probably going to use his... Well, we kind of lost this one because he's going to use the Kyurem attack and he's going to knock out all these Pokemon right now. All in one swoop. See, this is what I mean. This is a really advanced deck that's not ready to play against. Or the Regidrago is an advanced deck and the Charizard that you got is not ready to play against that. Let's see what he does here. Oh. That's not the card I expected he was going to use. Or the attack. So I think we're going to put the Charmeleon out. We don't care about that guy. We're gonna put another Charmander out here, or another Pidgey. We'll do the Charmander. And then we're gonna Iono. Bada bing, bada boom. And we get that Charizard. I'm gonna use the Infernal Rain. Yes, 2, 3. Attach it to Charizard here. And then to the little Charmander. Hopefully he doesn't get knocked out next turn. I'm gonna do Buddy-Buddy Poffin just so it doesn't happen to us again. Get that Pidgey. Those two bad boys in here. And we're gonna use Burning Darkness. And the reason why that only does 130 is because he used this attack by, I think, Goodge right here. Rolling Iron. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 80 less damage, which is pretty good. That's a really good card to have there. We'll see what happens next. He's going to use an energy switch to get it over there. Maybe evolve him into the V-Star. Uses his Nest Ball. Gets another Regidrago V. This deck also just works really fast. Maybe we'll pull a Rare Candy, get that other Charmeleon. Let's see what happens here. He might use the Kyurem attack to knock out 3 of these guys. Or 2 of them at least. Which is totally fine. It'll make it strong enough to knock him out. Take your time, sir. Take your time. Okay. Probably does not want me to get the other cards. So what I'm going to do here is not something we always want to do. We're going to pull that other Charmander. And we're going to get rid of our Charizard, unfortunately. But here we go. Hopefully we pull a Rare Candy and a Pidgey. Nope, we do not. But we do pull the Charmeleon, which you could always use. And then we're going to Ultra Ball away. And we're going to take our Pidgeot out. Or we can just get the other Charmeleon. No, we're going to get the Pidgeot out, just in case we pull the Rare Candy the next turn. And we're going to put back our Charizard EX and our Pidgeot and a Fire Energy here. And we're going to use this Burning Darkness again. And we're going to knock out his Regidrago V. And he's probably going to knock out our Charizard the next turn. But now we'll have 90 extra damage to do to him. So we're going to attach... Hopefully we pull the Charizard. Or hopefully we pull another Ultra Ball here. Or even a Rare Candy will help. Oh wow, he just had to skip our turn. Or he had to skip his turn. Now that's insane. So we're going to definitely put the Charizard here. And we're going to use Infernal Rain. Yes. Oh, he just gave up. He might have not got the cards he needed and just gave up here. Or he might have thought he was just going to win anyways and wasn't bothering with this match. Or he just might have made a mistake and accidentally clicked on that. Whatever the case, we won that match. And so if you got enough, then you can go ahead and start playing this deck. I am going to play one more, but in case you're leaving, thanks for watching. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe and see more content I'm going to do. Again, I just started this channel. Thank you for the 26 that subscribed, and I will be doing more videos. And I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a really good Christmas and enjoy playing this Charizard EX deck. I really enjoyed it, and I am planning to upgrade it a bit and see if this is something I'm going to use for my next competition. And thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you decide to stay, I'm playing one more here to try to show more mechanics. So if you're here and you're still watching, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Let's get right into it, and hopefully we don't dead draw like we did the other one. Okay, so we're playing against Z Murda. And he has a Greninja coin here. Flipping the coin. And it was tails, so I'm assuming... Oh, yep, we get to go first. I'm going to say yes. And we'll see if our hand's better this time than it was the other time. Not so much. But we'll see what happens now. At least we got the Buddy-Buddy Poffin, so we'll get the Charmander and the Pidgey out. But they got a Mulligan, which is nice, so that means we get one extra card. And if you've already been playing the Pokemon TCG and you know all these things, I'm very sorry. But I kind of like to explain for people who are new to the game and don't know how everything works. If you have a hand that doesn't have any available Pokemon, it's called a Mulligan. And you shuffle your cards back in and you pull, your opponent takes an extra card if they want. Wow, so this is a really good start. We're going to use our Buddy-Buddy Poffin. We're going to use Charmander and Pidgey here. Boom. We can't attack, unfortunately, but we are going to put this. And in our next turn, we are going to use that Evolution TM. I'm not too worried about it. I know our opponent is just setting up. They're probably going to use a Greninja line. Maybe Greninja EX, the fighting type. But it kind of looks like a water with the... maybe Shine Pal? I'm not too sure. But it sounds like they have a really slow start. So here's what we're going to do here. We're going to put Technical Machine. And just for the fun of it, I'm going to add another Fire Energy. Because if he whiffs again, we're just going to win this match. But we're going to do this, and we're going to use Evolution to get that Pidgeotto and that Charmeleon here. And hopefully both of them are in our deck. We haven't had a chance to check. Nope, just the Charmeleon. Well, that's the way life goes sometimes. Oh, we do have the Pidgeotto. We have both of them too. I can't believe we only got one the last time. So on our next turn, we'll evolve the Charizard and into Pidgeot. Even if he knocks out our Moltres here. Which I don't think he's going to be able to do. Unless he pulled a Rare Candy just now and then gets to the Greninja. Oh, he has a Frogadier. He can still attach an energy. Yep. Probably going to do the attack. Arven, he's going to Buddy-Buddy Poffin or Nest Ball or Ultra Ball. He needs to get some Pokemon out. Yep, here they go. That's what he needed the last turn to kind of get the motion going. He has to use like the same techniques that we're using for our deck, except his is water, which I was kind of worried at first. But because Charizard turns into a dark type, we don't have to worry about the type advantage in this one. Normally Charizard would be affected and he'd get knocked out pretty quick. It's when we play against grass types that we have an issue here. He should be attaching his Technical Machine. Maybe he's judging on what's going to happen here. Nope. Wow, he just used Wave Splash. Very interesting. I don't know why he would do that. But we have our Charizard now. Yes, we'd like to use Infernal Rain. Get those two energies. I guess we'll do that because that way we don't waste our energy attachment here. Just because we can, we're going to do it. Put that there. And this is where we're probably going to go into overkill. Now that we have this advantage here. I'm just going to grab another Buddy-Buddy Poffin. And get the other Charmander. The other Charmander here. Oh no, not grab Charmander. Getting ahead of myself. We're going to grab that Buddy-Buddy Poffin here. Boop. And see, now that we have the Pidgeot EX, we're going to be able to move really fast. I'm just going to put the other Charmander and the other Pidgey just because we can. Can never be too safe. And we're going to attach an energy to Pidgeot just because. And we're going to use Blazing Flight. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to use Charizard because we can knock him out immediately. Boom. Now he can't get into his Greninja. And I'm assuming he did not... Oh, see, they gave up. And that's how fast this deck could work if you pull the right cards. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for watching the second one. Both those matches we won, and they kind of went quick. That just kind of shows the power that Charizard has right now. which is really amazing that they finally made a Charizard deck that works this good. Generally, most Charizard decks do a lot of damage and work really fast, but not to this capacity or to the level of this like consistency, if I can say that. But thank you again for watching, guys. I hope you learned a lot from this video. If you have any suggestions of the other kind of videos I should make, please let me know. I'm always open to suggestions and critique. Did this video suck? Was there something I could improve on? Did I talk too slow? Did I talk too much? Did I talk too fast? Please let me know. I appreciate your feedback. And I hope everyone has some happy holidays and goes into 2025 strong and ready to play some other people. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.